Happy New Year! Welcome, everyone. We've been gone. We've been missing. We've been AWOL. Whatever. But that's the other podcast. We're back. We're back, and we're back for you folks. And we're here live in living color in the ring of life on Larry's new wrestling podcast and stuff. Loud and clear, Larry's new wrestling podcast and stuff. You may notice some upgrades. I look really good. Yes, that is the upgrade. I'm blonde, everyone. Well, they say blondes get what they want. So far, it hasn't worked. It's okay. I'm not depressed. It's a work in progress. That's what my business partner says. It's about the journey, not the destination. Sometimes you get lost and you get, stuck in snow. Stuff happens. But you know what? We're here for you to talk about the world of professional wrestling and stuff. Like COVID, it's still out there. It's still happening. It's still in our world, folks. And I'll tell you, I pray for those in 2021 that are dealing with this dilemma. This is a very serious issue, folks. And I'll tell you right now why. It's because this is our lives. This is our future. Our future generations, the kids, they're the ones that are going to be affected the most by this. The new babies this year. This is a serious thing. I hope to God, whoever's in charge, we're not going to get political on our show. We need to stick together, have an attitude of gratitude. Anyone who takes charge, they have to look inside. That's who needs to take charge of the situation in 2021 and beyond. This is what we have to do because, folks, we have to make a difference in our world. Whether it was Biden, Trump, no matter who it is, folks, we are in charge of the future. Humans, not aliens. Take advantage of it internally. Be good to each other. It's not that tough to be nice. It's not that hard to open the door for the lady. It's not hard to be respectful and acknowledge the fact that once you have a relationship, you're loyal to her. You don't cheat on her. You have to learn sometimes to be respectful. Remember the words that are coming out of my mouth. It's a Chris Tucker joke. Anyways, where am I going with this? Is there a point? Yes. The point is this. Let's make a difference in the world. Let's do something. As Michael Jackson would say, hey, make that change. And Michael was innocent. Don't forget that. Do you have an attitude of gratitude? Are you happy with your life? Well, guess what, folks? It's within. A lot of great podcasters out there. Gary Vee. A lot of great podcasters out there. Jim Cornette. Larry Lawrence. It ain't so nice. They named him twice. In the new year, you'll check out these great podcasters. Because we're all on the same level. We're giving back to you. We're going to make, well, maybe they make a little bit more money. Anyways, it's not about the money. It's about the destination. It's about the journey. It's about the process. So life is great right now, if you want it to be, folks, during COVID and beyond. If you get that vaccine, stay healthy, stay happy. If you don't get it, stay healthy and happy. The most important thing you realize is I'm here looking sexy. I have to love myself. Who else is going to love me? That sounded kind of creepy and weird, but I'll take it. I'm different. As my business partner knows, I'm special. And he doesn't mean special education, but sometimes I think it. I'm different. But you know what's good about being different? You're different. That's about all I have to say about that. It felt like Forrest Gump for a second. Lieutenant Dan, she smelled like cigarettes. I know people who have girlfriends that smoke. It's disgusting, but you know what? Yeah, hey, to each his own. I'm just saying. I'm single. There's got to be a reason I'm single. My business partner thinks I got to look within. I did. I'm still single. Is there a point to this? I'm really trying to figure it out, folks. How about the new year? What are you going to do? Are you going to be different? Are you going to work out? Don't make a resolution. You never keep them. I'm going to get skinny. Oh, look, I did it. Damn, I look good. Organic protein and amazing green superfoods and going sober, folks. 2 years strong and plus. I'm going to continue to stay sober because it's working for me. Whatever works for you, do it. That should be your New Year's resolution. Oh, here's one more. Go vegan! I'm just saying it's a healthy lifestyle. No meat, no cheese. It's a simple diet. If you don't know, go read a recipe. As my business partner says, don't ask dumb questions. Google it! Bing! Yahoo! Do whatever it takes to find out the information. We have technology. Don't be stupid is as stupid does, Lieutenant Dan. Why am I in Forrest Gump mode? That's so 1994. It's 2021, and I'm looking sexy. In 94, I had a mustache. No, I didn't. Maybe I did. Who knows? I'm ageless. It doesn't matter what you look like anyways. We're all going to get old. But I'll probably be like Hefner old. Still looking good. I've been to the Playboy Mansion twice. I didn't get an invite, but I won't tell you the story until later. That's another show for another day. Back to focus. Can we talk about AEW? All Elite Wrestling? I mean, this is a show about wrestling and stuff. So please subscribe on YouTube. Please, it's just a button you push. Subscribe. It's not that hard, folks. I'll teach you. Press a button. Oh my goodness. It's just like the doc when he saw the tower and he saw the cord detach and he does that loud ass. Sorry. I don't have the lung capacity. Anyways, back to focus. AEW. It's 2021, folks. It's a new year. But can you believe a 61-year-old man is signed to a multi-year contract at AEW? His name is Sting! Ow! That's the Stinger. You know, he does a ow! That's the Stinger, baby. He is in All Elite Wrestling, 61 years young. You still got it. You know that dumb chant you wrestling fans do today? I'm just saying I don't do it. Go ahead and continue to do it. I'm not stopping you. Let's just know that I don't do that. They still got it. Let's go Cena. Cena sucks. I digress. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, a 61-year-old Sting. No, folks, I don't drink anymore. I'm just a little bit delayed in my response to your statement. Am I making sense right now? I'm not supposed to. You know why? It doesn't matter! You see, this is what you get on my show, folks. And if you don't like it, it doesn't matter! Thank you, Dwayne Johnson. I'll work for $7 Productions if you think I'm funny. Most people don't. I'm just saying. Do you think Sting, the World Wrestling Federation Hall of Famer, well, even though it's WWE Hall of Fame. Anyways, back to focus. Should Sting in 2021 be in professional wrestling? What is he going to do? Is AEW going to keep getting the ratings? I don't think so. Because you bring him out and you waste time with boring, uneventful storylines. Why don't you have Arn Anderson and Tully Blanchard and Sting talk about the young talent of the future that they're about to mold, that they're about to harness and give us a ratings war? Maybe call out WWE NXT and say, you know what, NXT, don't you wish you had the talent? Don't you wish you had what we have? If you want a war, start a war. Don't dilly-dally with this garbage wrestling today that us wrestling fans are tired of. We don't want to see this nonsense. We want to see the WWE versus WCW late 90s war. That's what we want to see. Because today we're going to talk about the greatest name in the top 5 Mount Rushmore of greatest names, should I say. because he was part of it. My favorites are Nature Boy Ric Flair. Woo! Hulk Hogan, what you gonna do, brother? Andre the Giant, the Macho Man Randy Savage. My extended Mount Rushmore. Hey yo, Big Daddy Cool Diesel. Brrr. And the most important, best there is, best there was, and best there ever will be. Or maybe he's not your most important. Everyone has their own Mount Rushmore of the great ones. Like Dwayne Johnson, a.k.a. The Rock. Or Stone Cold! Stone Cold! Those are all famous names that could be on your Mount Rushmore. CM Punk. How about RVD, who's going to have also a documentary series coming out on the WWE Network. But you have to subscribe to the network to get the good stuff. I'm a subscribed member and proud of it, WWE. So why don't you hire me? Anyways, because you want talent, right? Bring me. I'll help you start a war again. Put me on the bump. I'll host it with my eyes closed. You know why? Because I like keeping my eyes closed. See? Watch. For those of you on iTunes and Spotify, I have closed my eyes, and now they're open again. And I hope you open your eyes, wrestling, to what you're doing to us fans. You're hurting us. You're hurting our feelings. Stop it. Bring back what was most important in 1996 when a revolution took place. I've spoken on a previous episode about the NWO, but I haven't in depth spoken about the man who revolutionized wrestling not once, but twice. Even though his controversy when he dropped the N-bomb and he cheated on his wife and ruined his career, where even the WWE took him out of the Hall of Fame and really blacklisted him in professional wrestling. The guy who made wrestling a household name in the 80s and 90s was told he could not be in the Hall of Fame. But you've kept others in there that have done sex on a belt. I'm not going to drop any more names because they don't deserve it. But they were kept in the Hall of Fame, and they even made a movie about them and their family. I don't understand how that happens. But you know what? Hulkamania in 2021 will be on Monday Night Raw this Monday. Ric Flair. This week they're going to do a Legends show. Why? I'll tell you why. It doesn't matter. The legends of the WWE. Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, okay? Sergeant Slaughter. But some people that bring back, like Alicia Fox, at least bring back entertainment like Santino Morella. I mean, if you want to bring back a legend, that's a legend, not Fox. Come on, man. Who's she? Who does she? Never mind. It's my show. I can do whatever, folks. If you don't like it, don't subscribe. Well, pretty much you don't. Subscribe, damn it. YouTube, iTunes, Spotify. Like us on TikTok, whatever. Like us on Instagram. Larry's New Wrestling Podcast and stuff. Do me a favor. Don't do it for me. Do it for yourself. Subscribe. Support us. Without you, we're the garbage. Good for you and good for your American peoples. Please subscribe. That was the Iron Sheik, by the way. I am Iraqi, Turkish, and Armenian and very confused. Back to focus. Hulk Hogan. In the 1980s, Hulkamania was running wild. My business partner will tell you, he even knows who Hulk Hogan is, a.k.a. Thunder Lips in Rocky 3. Yes, it was Rocky Balboa on a, what they call him, an apple box or some milk carton, standing to be higher up to the 6'7", 300-plus pound Hulk Hogan when they did their charity fundraiser in Rocky 3. They had a role specifically that Vince McMahon Sr. told Hulk Hogan, do not take this role. Hogan decided to take the role instead of being loyal to wrestling because he initially wanted to be a rock star. That's why he played the guitar and the bass. But instead, he pursued professional wrestling in the 1970s. And I can tell you, Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan are the two biggest names in professional wrestling. And my Jiddu, my grandfather, he got so involved with Vern Gagne's AWA, and he said, oof, 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 oof. I'm telling you, Hulkamania was in the AWA during that time too. And so was Andre the Giant. 1983, 84. I remember like it was yesterday. So I've been around wrestling for a long time, but really when I fell in love with it was during 1986, 85, 86, when Hulkamania was at its peak and pinnacle in the World Wrestling Federation, where this gentleman with red and yellow colors, eventually, he used to go with like whites and blues, but eventually he housed a similar situation. He housed thousands upon thousands upon thousands up until the Pontiac Silverdome, where he peaked at 93,000 plus in the Pontiac Silverdome in good old Michigan, home of the rusty cars and the Michigan U-turn, where they force you to go around whatever. That's the other podcast. Excuse me. I'm choked up about it. I don't like snow. I don't like U-turns. So good luck out there in Michigan. California, we're doing well. Anyways, back to focus. I'm in parts unknown. You'll see why later. You may see a different Larry's new wrestling podcast and stuff. Folks, we're going to have a great year this year because Hulkamania was running wild, and he revolutionized the sport of wrestling at WrestleMania 1 with the Hot Rod Roddy Piper tag team with Mr. Wonderful and good old Randy Orton's papa, Bob Orton. Cowboy Bob Orton was outside the ring causing mischief with the cast. And Hulk Hogan and Mr. T, I pity the fool, who had his own cereal in his cartoon in the 1980s with that mohawk, and Cyndi Lauper and Liberace and Ray Charles. And I can tell you, folks, MTV Wrestling, it was the rock and wrestling era where Captain Lou Albano and Cyndi Lauper are doing crisscross in the ring, like, you know, like do-si-do. Anyways, that was the 1980s. And I can tell you, Hulkamania took wrestling to a whole nother level, where people from every part around Michigan to California to everywhere were watching professional wrestling. And I can tell you, in Australia and eventually around the world, Nevada, in Vegas, Hulkamania, you could put money on roulette and you would win big. If you bet money on red and black, no, if you bet on red and yellow. Because I'm telling you, Vince McMahon took a risk on WrestleMania. He basically mortgaged his home so he could make wrestling not just a territorial business, but a national, global phenomenon. And then he took WrestleMania 2 to 3 destinations: Chicago, LA, New York. And then he took it to WrestleMania in the Pontiac Silverdome in front of 93,000 plus raging fans. Even RVD was in attendance because he's from Michigan. And he will say that that was part of the influence. Seeing Hogan hip toss Andre, or he put him over and he said, but it was a body slam heard around the world. And it was laid down in Pontiac Silverdome, the imploded Pontiac Silverdome that does not exist anymore. So you can't physically come to Michigan and see a stadium where Hogan slammed Andre, even though he slammed him in the AWA, but it wasn't a national phenomenon. But Vince has great marketing skills, where he even let the Iron Sheik take and put him in the camel clutch, and he hulked up. And then Vern Gagne said, break that guy's arm and come to AWA. He said, I am not a jabroni, and I will not give the belt to you. He was loyal to Vince McMahon Sr., and I'll tell you right now, we're forever in debt to Mr. Sheiky Baby for doing it. I would love to have him on the show so I can interview him in a Zoom. The Iron Sheik, if you're out there, I want you on Larry's new wrestling podcast and stuff. All right, I'm no jabroni, and you be on my show, my friend. That was my cheap attempt at the Sheik, since I was Sheikh Hassan, #1, from Iraq, #1. Anyways, back to focus. We're not causing World War III to break out here, folks. We're just trying to make peace in the Middle East and a slugfest in the West. Anyways, so let's segue into the 1990s. Hulkamania ends up getting weaker in the World Wrestling Federation. Well, guess what? He goes to do Thunder in Paradise, a show on the Turner Network, TBS, Turner Broadcasting Systems. And what ends up happening is Eric Bischoff finds out that he's on the Disney lot area where they're doing a show for WCW. It was like a Saturday morning show. It was pretty bad. But anyways, forgot the name of it. He goes to the set with Ric Flair. Who knows Hogan, obviously. They're the two biggest names. I'm sure they've ran into each other throughout the years. No animosity. Big name in the NWA. And they worked together towards the early 90s, in the WWF, where he won the Royal Rumble. And they should have been at WrestleMania 8, Hogan versus Flair. You were finally going to see WWF and NWA, WCW in one ring, the two biggest names, but then Vince pulled the plug. No one's ever really given the straight answer why that happened. But I say it was Vince didn't create Ric Flair. So maybe he didn't feel the need to have Hogan versus Flair to give us fans the excitement of something that wasn't a big deal, as big a deal as it became in the late 90s when the NWO, and I was buying the shirts, and I was traveling to Vegas and wasting or investing, whatever way you look at it, I was investing into the future. Me, right here, on Larry's new wrestling podcast and stuff. I'm here today, folks, with a different outlook about pro wrestling. I want to make a difference in your lives. I want to make a difference in my life. I'm back. I'm 2 years sober. I'm the happiest I've been my whole life. I'm trying to get the NWO to be this country. I want us to change this country. I want us to be a part of something special. And the NWO was and the NWA, where they essentially ended up wrestling, which became WCW, because Turner basically had nothing to do with this. It was Bischoff, really. Well, he had a big paycheck, that's for sure, and brought Hogan out of retirement. Turner paid Hogan, and Bischoff made it happen. The most money he'd ever earned that he could have lived off for the rest of his life, but that wife of his took half of it when Hogan got himself in some trouble with his ex because of some sex tape that got released. Well, guess what? I'm always going to be a Hulkamaniac. And I know he made some mistakes, but we're all human. We all make mistakes. If you have never made a mistake, cast the first stone if I'm going to get biblical on your ass. I'm just saying. We want forgiveness. We want an attitude of gratitude. And the NWO made you listen because they were for life. And Hogan and his gang of thugs took over the wrestling ratings war in the Monday Night Wars against Vince McMahon, where 1996 you couldn't go into the mall without seeing NWO or D-Generation X shirts with Hunter Hearst Helmsley eventually and Shawn Michaels, and then Chyna and Billy Gunn eventually joined, and also the Road Dogg. And then Shawn Michaels would segue out, and The Rock and Stone Cold would evolve. And then Kevin Nash and Scott Hall jump ship from being Diesel and Razor, and they get a fake Diesel, and they get a fake Razor to compensate. This was wrestling. This was when it was hot, and people loved watching it day after day, week after week, year after year on USA Network, Spike, on TNN, wherever the WWE was at that time, and then on WCW on TNT, Monday Nitro. What? I used to VHS record them back and forth, record both shows, and I threw all those damn tapes away because I kept moving around because I couldn't financially stabilize. But that's a whole nother episode for a whole nother show called whatever, because you're going to subscribe to our second show through Lightning Strike Studios presents Larry's new wrestling podcast and stuff, where my cousin Basil plays dee. You know what? We're going to have all kinds of excitement in the new year. I'm hoping for new music. If you got some good rock and roll music, subscribe. Send us your music. We're not going to pay you. We'll listen to it, and if we like it, we'll use it. You'll get free publicity. Duh! What are you waiting for? Subscribe. Did you hear me? Yes, because we have great technology for you to subscribe. It's called press a button. I'm just saying. If you don't think Hulkamania is the biggest name in sports entertainment, something's wrong with you. Now, if you want to say a popularity contest, I think Steve Austin actually has taken over as being the number one wrestling attraction of all time. I hate to say it. And Ric Flair and Hogan are number two, tied, because both of them were equal in the 80s and 90s. But I'll tell you what, this is what I believe. Everyone's going to have their own Mount Rushmore of who is the best wrestlers, of who is the greatest of all times. But if you paid money and you traveled and you went anywhere that WCW was, I'd say Hulkamania and the NWO were the biggest attractions in sports entertainment, aka professional wrestling, in the 80s and 90s. If you don't believe that Hulk Hogan is the greatest name in wrestling because he flexed his muscles and he did the posing and Ric Flair did the wrestling, I'm telling you right now, you missed it. Subscribe to the WWE Network and you watch the old school wrestling and you tell me what you think is professional wrestling and what you think is sports entertainment. Today's era is sports entertainment. Andy Kaufman, Jerry Lawler, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, yeah, those names are old school. When they used to cut Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, they had blood in the ring. They shed blood, sweat, tears. I have tinnitus in my ear because I worked in the wrestling business. You know why? Because I took a guitar shot to the head and I listened to loud music. Huh? Anyways, I think we're good, aren't we? I think so. It's been pleasurable. It's been, as the doc said, I'll never forget it. He said something like that. No, what did he say? Marty, I'll never forget you or something. Anyways, and at the end of the movie, if you put your mind to it, you can accomplish anything. So are you going to do that in 2021 and beyond? Are you going to go vegan? What are you going to do, brother? What you going to do when Larry's new wrestling podcast runs wild on you, brother? We're not going to end right there. No, because we have to end with our send-off. Every show has a send-off, folks. This is our send-off to you. Whether you support Republican, Democrat, whether you support yourself, you should. Because our lives are whatever we make of it. Let's just go out there into the world today and do me a favor. Go vegan! I'm just saying. It's a healthy lifestyle. No, seriously, folks. Stay healthy. Stay happy. Have an attitude of gratitude because our lives are whatever we make of it. Let's just go out there into the world today and do me a favor. Simply make it a great one. Thank you for tuning into our show. Subscribe on iTunes, YouTube, and Spotify. Share this with family, friends, and complete strangers because we love you and we couldn't do it without you. God bless you. Take care. Godspeed. Death row. I'm out. Peace. Love. Peace in the Middle East, as my business partner like to say. And Basil, take us out, baby. All right? And then Lightning Strike Studios. Peace.